Hey, 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 welcome back. Welcome back to the Scorpio channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to my channel, I'm going to do a general message for Scorpio. Know that energy is fluid, roles could be reversed. Just interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also, know on this channel and all my channels, I like to dive deep within the reading. So I do look at everything, but we take a lot more time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, and see how they play out as karmic themes to help you understand why your person's doing what they're doing, why you would be attracting that person into your life. What is the whole spiritual significance? There's many different realities that play out at what time. Why are we living a reality that, keeps us stuck in a place of disempowerment or any other emotion that's derived from fear, right? I mean, if we have a choice, we want to be in happy, passionate, joyous energy. We don't want to be in depressive energy. We don't want to be in angry energy if we had a choice, right? So again, we always do have a choice. However, when we're dealing with karmics, well, a lot of times we feel like we didn't have a choice. We don't really understand why things played out the way that they did. So, seeing how you contribute to the imbalances really allows you to shape shift the energy. And that's really what you want to do when you're dealing with the karmic. And even if your person isn't a past life karmic mate, all relationships tend to be karmic because every single relationship has the potential to teach you something, right? And some people just come in for a day, some people come in for a season, and other people stay for a lifetime. So, again, all these different relationships are a cultivation of what is helping you to evolve, to heal, and to grow. So, again, being able to see a different perception is what's healing. Now, when we are grounding that negative energy, because when we go through an experience that keeps us in a place of imbalance, we actually, become angry and we can hold on to that energy. So that energy just doesn't go away when you see the different perception. We actually have to do something with that energy. We have to embody the new consciousness. That's how we really learn. That's why we're in physical form. We're in physical form to learn the lessons, and learning the lesson actually is to embody a whole other way of being so that you can see yourself from a more evolved and higher state of consciousness, right? To allow yourself to heal. Well, that just kind of flew out. So the word of the video is fantasizing because it just kind of flew out. Now you'll want to know that if you want to enter into winning free reading with me, but know that I'm about 2 months behind, and it's just because it's been really busy, or you can just like the video and subscribe to the channel. It's good karma. Or you could be patient and, eventually I'm going to get around to like picking everyone that actually plays that game. Again, why? Because it's just, you know, brings more exposure to the channel, really. It's just, there's a lot of projects that I'm doing right now. And it's like, I mean, I have a coaching program that's launching. I have a group platform that's coaching, that's all about coaching. So everything is about to start, but actually hasn't started yet. And it's almost because it takes time to set everything up. It's not just me. I'm working with other platforms, and one of the platforms is brand new. As I shared, it's a combination between Netflix, YouTube, and Mind Valley. It's going to be huge. It allows me to have my coaching platform for just $35 a month. You get my Transforming Trauma podcast along with that coaching program and everyone else's work that's going to be on that platform. There's going to be thousands of different healers and entrepreneurs. And it's kind of, like I said, a combination between Netflix and Mind Valley. Only the classes aren't $100 a pop. It's $35 a month with an opportunity to actually make money. So it's really in alignment with who I am, which is what's best for everyone involved, right? No segregation, no prejudice. All right, I have to always mention that, but getting back to the word of the video, wow, I feel very scattered today, right? Again, Ever feel that way that your energy is all over the place? So maybe we're dealing with a person that's energy is a little bit manic. Don't know. Let's see. So again, fantasizing was one of the words, but the other word is abandonment. Well, well, I feel like now that someone's abandoned you, they're actually like sitting there and they're fantasizing what their life could have been with you if they would have dated you. I feel like this person is, almost like out of their options. And unfortunately, I do feel like this person always knew that there was a spiritual connection, but it terrified them. They didn't want to go that deep. That's what I feel like. So they didn't give you the time. But now they're in a place where, again, they're fantasizing what it could have been like. So let's see why all of a sudden they've had this change of heart before we even see what they did and what transpired. Because whatever it was bad. You know that. So let's begin by looking at the hidden truths. I know I messed up everything. So again, it's still telling us about what this person did to you. Then it's not really saying. Um, I feel you even though we're apart. So again, that soul connection, that it's never gone. What they're realizing is this connection is really true. I feel like possibly one of the reasons why they didn't give you the time was they didn't really believe that there was such thing as soulmates. There's passion, but there's no real connection. Now, I feel like this person always felt the connection. They didn't understand the connection. They didn't believe in the connection. They talked themselves out, and there was again want to not be in a monogamous commitment. I lost myself for a little while. So part of them that lost themselves for a little while was again exploring other options, looking for you and other people, stuck in their ego. I feel like also this person may have addictions. We're going to see whether they do or not. Um, we need to let each other go. So for a long time, this person felt like they needed to let you go. And I feel like there's still part of them that feels like that. They just don't like how there's this energetic connection still. And so it's almost like this person can still feel you, but there's almost like I can't fix what I've done. I know I messed up everything. And, you know, they chose to run away. Where they lost themselves for a while was in their addictive behavior is what I feel. And now it's like I don't really want to come back, but this energetic connection is what's bothering them still because down deep inside, they really want you. See, that passion energy is still there. So when we have a soulmate, that's a past life karmic mate, or a twin flame, either one of these connections, there's a lot of chemistry, there's a lot of passion. This person could feel the real chemistry and the realness, but it was almost like you were too boring, too serious, is what I feel. And this person, again, did not want that type of relationship. And what they're seeing is, even after it all, and this person really doesn't want to come back and apologize, they don't want to fix things. They feel like it would be too much for them to fix. But the problem is, there's still a desire to be with you. There's still a want and a need. And that's because they haven't learned the lesson yet. And the lesson is that they can't control who they have a connection with. That when we have a spiritual connection like that, it's because the divine has chosen that person for us. And what this person said was, no, I don't like you. I don't like you for whatever reason. It's again, so they don't react when people mention you because again there is a desire and they still want you, but they're not again their pride, their ego, what they had stated, which is I don't really want a serious committed relationship, only if you're gonna like undervalue yourself, like this person would have went along with it, but they're not promising anything. They're not giving anything. And I feel like that was another thing, that this person could be here for a good time, not a long time. And the thing is, with you, you are always like, what are you giving? Why are you here? And this person just really didn't want to be accountable in that way. I knew exactly what I was doing. Like at the time, they knew exactly what they were doing. It was a choice. That's why they know that they messed up everything. And that's why they feel like they really can't fix it, because you're not really going to trust them. So it's almost like the coward's way out, because down deep inside, they really want you. But it's like, oh, it's too much work for them to deal with. And but though it bothers them, it doesn't bother them enough to change. So you have to say, well, what kind of energy then are they in? What are they doing that allows them, because they're in balance. They want you. There's still that spiritual connection, but it's like they took it too far. I don't know how to come back from this energy and their pride. Well, their part of them is stuck in the trauma. So I think that this person expected to create trauma for you. They have a lot of spiritual blockages around them, but they expected to that it would hurt you. And really, what it did is they hurt themselves. Because now, regardless of whether or not they're going to come to you and they think it's too much work, they still want you. There's still that connection. It's still bothering them. They're just holding back, and part of it is because they are prejudiced, which is, I feel like you need to come to me. I feel like there's different roles that we play. Um, and really, it's just because this person doesn't want to be judged. There's a part of this person that still has a lot of fear of change. And so the way that they are used to really navigating is just through manipulation. It's like, I want you, but I still have a lot of healing that I need to do. And so down deep inside, once you really get to know me, you won't really like me. So what do they do? What are they doing right now? Exactly what I said. There's addictions. It's like, because you can't stay in an energy of, wanting someone, knowing that you did wrong to someone, not fixing it because of your pride and your ego. You're going to feel bad. That energy is going to grow. That what they're seeing is that they can't control it, but they're like, I can't fix this. I can't come back from that. And I don't know whether it's true or whether it's not true, because we don't know. But it's almost like this person's now intimidated by you. There's a fear. There's a fear of change. And I feel like it's because down deep inside, they really do feel inadequate. So part of them, like, just has a lot of anxiety alone. And that's because they feel empty inside. So running around with different people, and getting, that physical connection where they're able to be in control makes them feel a lot stronger about themselves, makes them feel not as inadequate, because they never build the emotional connection. It's just here for a good time, not a long time. They're able to be dominant. They're able to get that physical connection. You, again, are holding to certain boundaries. You want it to be a certain way. They feel that connection. They don't want to give it. They thought that it may possibly that you would cave, or they just didn't care. It's like they knew exactly what they were doing. That's why they can't come back. They're like, I don't know how to repair this. They didn't leave themselves a way to come back. Like, usually this person would try to twist things, manipulate, which is what they're trying to do now. They're trying to figure out, how can I manipulate this? I can't. They can't say that it was a misunderstanding. They can't say, because you know exactly what happened. You knew exactly that they didn't want to be in a committed relationship. They would want you to not talk about that. That's what they would want. It's, again, they want to be in control. There's a part of this person that needs to be in control. Remember, the self-image. It's all about the self-image, how they need to be seen. So you would have to be like conform to them, and they know that you're not going to do it. So they're again paranoid. They don't want you to be able to judge them. They don't want to be able to take accountability. There's a part of them that knows damn well that you were right, but they put themselves in this competition of holding back because they didn't want to deal with the criticism. And they knew that they made you mad. They wanted to make you mad because they're like, yeah, I know that there's a connection here, but I'm not going to give it. I'm going to give everybody else the attention, hope that you get mad. No, what happened is that you disconnected from this person because they couldn't control you through being dominant and through physical connection. So that's why. So when we say, what are they doing? What they're doing is they're holding back. It's again, they're drinking. They're running around with other people. They're suppressing their emotions any which way that they can to avoid you, but they're still connected to you. And that's what you know because you're like, I can still feel them. And well, that's what they're doing. Because it's like, yeah, I see that I was wrong, but I'm not going to do that. And if anything, it's making them angry that you're holding them accountable, because this person has never come across that. So again, they expected you to conform, that you would be angry and just give in, where that's not happening. Now, like I said, what this is really comes down to this person having to really look at themselves. Like you're not strong for screwing someone over and then running away and abandoning them and acting like you don't care. Like that's this person because they didn't want to deal with the criticism. Like it's a problem. So it's again, they enjoy that. They enjoy, oh, like you get you mad, you stay hooked on me, I run around. Yeah. Now they're fantasizing what life could have been with you. So that's why they're mad because they're like, how could I have been wrong? So they don't actually even know who to be mad at, I feel like. Themselves, you, everybody, the world, because how this person chooses to relive the same sort of karmic cycles. I mean, here for a good time, not a long time gets boring after a while. And you don't get good results. And you were the real deal. And that's what they're seeing. So, their karma. So we have to say again, why did you attract this person into your life? You're a mirror of who comes into your life. So we always look at the inner child wounds because when we don't heal those inner child wounds, the fragments of those experiences continue to play out as karmic themes. So the first card out is play, rage, guidance. Oh, okay, love, one to come out, and confusion fell onto the floor, and I don't know, abuse. So we got one, we got two, we got three, we got four, we got five, we got six. That's how many we need. So we're gonna put all these cards together. Fell in every single direction known to mankind. Okay. Doesn't matter. There's a lot of wounds here. And those wounds that is not being able to play. When you're a child, and when children go out into the world and they play, that's how they find themselves. That's how they get to form their likes, their dislikes, their own identity. So again, there's a sense that you didn't really have that. You felt like, you weren't loved. It was very confusing. There was no guidance. Again, and her parent was abusive, whether it was one or two, and part of that was where they were angry all the time, and it made you angry all the time. So again, children are taught how to deal with the world. So I feel like you're someone that just has a very like not a lot of patience because again you grew up in an environment where no one was patient with you, and so you're not patient with yourself. You weren't loving yourself really because you're a mirror of whom what comes into your life. So it's not so much that you don't love and give other people love, is that you weren't loving yourself. enough. And that's because, again, of how you were raised. And again, that anger, when a parent is angry, comes out as emotional abuse. It comes out as psychological abuse. Do they mean it? No, a lot of times they don't. It's just the way that they dealt with stress. So there was no real guidance. So if we don't feel safe in our environment, well, then we don't trust ourselves. We don't trust people just in general. If our first person that was around us was a mother or father, and they were always angry and they were, you know, didn't give us love or nurturing the type that we felt that we needed. I mean, and did we need it? Who knows? Understand that the child self and the child self is more sensitive than an adult. They haven't experienced the world. So again, the perception of a child. Now remember, if the parent is rageful and angry with themselves, or they're just angry because life is difficult, they're not in a happy marriage, they're not working a good job. They're not making enough money. They're struggling in life. They're trying to figure it out. There, there was no tools back in the day. So again, they dealt with everything the way that they knew how. And the way that they knew how, a lot of times, was with a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress. So it was very confusing for you. And so you didn't really go out into the world enough to experience life. Life as this is what I dream. I dream one day to become a ballerina. I dream one day to be like an artist. I dream one day to be a hairdresser, and understand that that child didn't just go out and dream about it. They were utilizing everything that they had in their environment to become that. Again, where remember, be like childlike. Mastery comes in doing. So it all starts in the mind. The mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's fake. It only knows what it perceives to be. And so it doesn't even matter if it was like you're stuck in a fragmented part of self from years ago, like a traumatic experience that created that fragmentation. Like when you were a child, your brain thinks that it's happening right now. And so your brain is what is determining what is manifesting. So if we're not putting enough energy towards what it is that we're trying to create, well, then we're putting it towards other things. And when you were a child, you were putting it towards, again, learning how to navigate your environment. If your parent was angry all the time, again, you wanted to be loved, you wanted to be nurtured, you wanted to be liked. So the wellness of the parent was more important because, well, I don't want my parent to be angry at me. And that could be, again, the child then overthinks and then they don't try. They just say, well, I'm too tired now. It's like, I don't really know. I talked myself out of it because what if, instead of just putting the energy out there and being encouraged by that parent to say, hey, go out and do it. You can do it. It's giving love. No, the parent was stuck in, I'm not making enough money. I don't have enough. Again, in a mindset. So again, that guidance wasn't there. So when guidance isn't there and children need to make their own decisions, they're trying to come from their own guidance, but they're coming from a place of fear and they're usually not getting good results from it. People are perceiving them wrong or misunderstanding them because they're not understanding that the child is trying to compensate for what's happening at home. And that's what I see here. So it's almost like not getting what you needed because some parent was angry because of an experience that they went through, not even what you did, but almost you having to pay the price for it or feeling that you paid the price for it. And then having this person come into your life and just not really care about your feelings, but they're wounded and you're paying the price for it if you, again, entertain this. So Spirit says, you didn't entertain it. Thank God. You see, because they never gave you anything. So if you were going to entertain it, you would have had to run after them. You would have had to give of your time and your energy, and you didn't do that. That's why this person has egg on their face. This is why they're fantasizing, saying, I could actually have made a good relationship out of this relationship. Now, but that negative energy is still there. You still have to transmute it into purpose. And so we'll look and see how are you supposed to transmute it or what's supposed to be happening at this time. And Spirit says, well, it's about rising above. The situation allowed you to see beyond your immediate fears, get more insight to elevate your perception. And you can do that when you look through the lens of unconditional love. So understanding that only God loves perfect and our parents do the best that they can in the from with the environments that they grew up in and with the tools that they had. They weren't taught from a spiritual perception. They were taught more from a dogmatic perspective. And again, that didn't help them because they didn't know how to apply that in life. And Spirit says, now that you're on the right path, that even though this situation might feel like, well, that was a waste of time, Spirit says, no, because you have to go through certain spiritual lessons to embody the new consciousness. So you're actually on the right path, even if it's not the most traveled. You're creating your own way. Your Spirit is making a way where there is no way just for you. So understand, like you might say, I feel like nothing's really happening. A lot is happening on the spiritual realm. You're clearing those spiritual blockages, and that allows you to again transmute that energy and really help you along on your purpose. It's what fuels that purpose. It's that emotional energy because you have to put it somewhere, right? So Spirit says it's all about you now taking a leap of faith. Take bold steps, even if the path is not fully visible, which it's not, because it's the path that's less likely traveled because it's again, it's a faith walk. It's as you're on it, the path unfolds. So again, take a leap of faith. So you might be someone that's a creator, someone that has a very creative type of job. You could be an artist. You could be a speaker, a singer, an educator, someone that again has your own business. Spirit saying it's time to take a leap of faith because wherever you go, your risks are rewarded. It's like again, that's what it's about right now, that you're moving into new energy. You're choosing to move out of this energy and move into new energy. And it's so that you could really, this situation allowed you to integrate all facets of yourself so that you could get harmony within. So that's what it said already, and it keeps saying that. So it's really important to realize how important integration is before we actually take that leap of faith. Otherwise, we wind up creating the same exact experiences that were imbalanced, that we already lived through. So Spirit's saying, like again, you might have learned it in your mind, but you didn't fully embody it. So this situation allowed you to embody the full consciousness, to see yourself differently, to see a different outcome, and really so that this person gets their karma, because the karma really is that they still have feelings for you. They just are too prideful to really do anything about it. And so Spirit leaves us off with one more message, and that is again guidance. In times of uncertainty, ask God to guide you to the light in your own being, to direct to doors that will open inner freedom to you and step forward in trust, to realize that your faith to God and your faith is rewarded. So again, release rather your faith to God and that your faith is rewarded. So that's what it's saying. It's saying it's like you're on your own path. And when you're on your own path, you are co-creating with God, that higher self, that all knowing. And that allows you to, again, be safe. That allows you to, sorry about that. That allows you to really transform that energy. All right, I'm going to leave that there. I Let me know how you resonated, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.